Hello and welcome to my Let's Play of Crusader Kings 3, the son of Crusader Kings 2 and grandson of Crusader Kings the first. I am your party host Dave, and I am very excited to be giving this a try. Crusader Kings is not the kind of game I have typically been playing in my lifetime as a video gamer, but I have seen a lot of different Let's Plays and walkthroughs and Twitch streams of this game. Today is September 2nd, 2020, which means that Crusader Kings 3 just came out yesterday. So it is still very fresh and lots of people are still playing it. And I just found it really appealing, not only by the look of it, because, I mean, look at these characters. They look fantastic. And every character that you ever run into or talk to or even have a notion of has its own rendering, and that's great. Like, they look fantastic. But not only that, but it's really the gameplay is appealing to me, because Crusader Kings is not about like an end goal. You're not necessarily needing to take over the world or vanquish all of your foes or anything like that. Really, the only goal you have is to continue your dynasty from whatever starting point you choose until 1453. Which historians consider to be the end of the medieval ages. So it's not a matter of creating an empire, but maintaining your lineage from generation to generation until that end date. So that's very interesting to me, because it's really about being a character, playing characters, forming relationships with other characters from different countries, neighboring territories, and things like that. So really it's about developing a character and sticking with the traits of that character up until the point at which you move on to the next ruler, and then figuring out how that ruler is going to work. Maybe they're similar to their father, or they're different, or they're going to be a queen, or they're going to be someone that's aggressive or passive. All that stuff. It just sounds very exciting and very much fun. So I'm looking forward to diving in on this. And so this first video is going to probably be a lot more chatting and less like actual gameplay, because it's going to be a lot of discussion about the characters that I'm interested in playing and how I am going to try to get the dynasty all the way to that end date. So without further ado, let's start up a new game and figure out where we're going to wind up. Now, this is where I give you the full disclosure. Earlier on today, I tried to do a playthrough. I kind of picked a random territory and just kind of went from there. And I was humbled very, very quickly. Only about like an hour and a half of gameplay, which when it's all about just maintaining your lineage, it's like, that is a very short amount of time. But I did realize that perhaps, you know, if you're going to try to take on another country or territory, you should have a good idea as far as if they are a lot larger than you are. So, but with that humbling, I hope I've learned some lessons, been able to grow as a player, and I can take those lessons and apply them to this playthrough, and hopefully this one will be successful. So, with that in mind, saying that I kind of picked a random one, and again mentioning how absolutely humbled that I am, I'm going to pick one of the ones that are selected here for us, and I'm going to pick one of the easy ones, and that is going to be Petty King Murchad. Now, Petty King Murchad, it has a petty kingdom within Ireland. A petty kingdom is also referred to as a duchy. But the difference is that the petty kingdom does not have a kingdom or an empire lording over it. So this Duke of Munster, this petty king Murchad, does not bend the knee to anyone, but he does not have a territory that's large enough to be considered a kingdom. So it is a petty kingdom. The description here says, in the beginning of the 11th century, the high kingship of Ireland has fallen in and out of House Brian's grasp, as the Irish noble houses have warred over territory against each other and Viking settlers. Yet while hailing from a line of men deemed destined for kingship, not much is known about Murchad's brief reign over the small area of Munster. With your help, perhaps a member of the House of Brian can sit on the throne of Ireland once more? Perhaps it is. Perhaps that is possible. I will try my best to do so. And also, I don't know if that's how that word Brian is pronounced, but I'm sure you see plenty of Let's Plays for Crusader Kings 3 and 2, where a lot of us Americans don't originate from where some of these words and terms come from, and as a result we don't pronounce them properly. I'm just going to apologize in advance, but there's really nothing else I can do about it at this time. So why don't we just dive in and check out this petty king, and let's find out about the family he has currently, what the situation is currently with him, and then we'll start looking at some of the initial immediate goals that we have to resolve for him in order to get this Let's Play really going. Of course, I'll take a moment to have a beverage here. Okay, so we are paused. And as a person that's not really experienced with these sort of games, I don't know if what I've learned so far is necessarily accurate or not, but I get the impression that when it comes to Crusader Kings games, you're spending a lot of time paused because you're trying to sort out, make decisions, and do stuff like that, and what you don't want the disadvantage of real time coming along and disrupting your plans before you're able to really formulate them. So I imagine we'll be paused more often than we're not paused. So here is Munster. This is my petty kingdom that I rule with. Is he an Iron Fist guy? I don't know yet. Let's take a look. Let's see what he's all about. So Petty King Murchad is 39 years old. He does not have a spouse, which is actually great for me because if I get him married, that will get me a Steam achievement of getting my ruler married. So that's great. Immediately I'm liking those odds. Although, despite the fact that he is not married, he does have an heir. I have a son named Brian Murchad, and he is 18 years old. He looks about 35 years old, but really, we're talking 1066. By the time you got to 18, you're about halfway done through your lifespan, so not surprising there. But let's get back to our ruler. Let's get back to the liege, the petty king Murchad, that we're going to be becoming so fond of, and we're going to praise him whenever he comes by on the street, because even though he's not technically a king, if I am a peasant in Thomond or Ormond, and if I'm harvesting grain, or if I'm a blacksmith or something like that, where I'm low down on the totem pole, and I'm in my village, and this village of mine I probably have never left in my lifetime. I don't go more than 10 or 15 miles away from the place I'm born. Someone like Petty King Murchad's gonna seem like a real king to me. So even though he's considered petty, I don't think he's petty. I think he's a pretty important and pretty cool guy. So that being said, let's find out more about our ruler here. So his diplomacy is poor, which is not great. So if we're going to have to do any sort of negotiations, we need to find advantages for him in order to get deals that are best in our advantage, or just to polish off deals as it is. However, his marshal is excellent. So if I'm thinking about taking over other territories, he's the right guy to lead those strikes. So that is a definite plus. His stewardship is poor, and stewardship is basically the skill of ruling your domain. 8, I mean, it's not great, but I've seen some of the other examples, and 8 is kind of like a middle of the road. So even though it's poor, I think it's going to do him just fine. Same with intrigue. He's not really interested in a lot of different things outside of ruling, as is petty king. And he doesn't understand other characters that well. He doesn't organize elaborate plots. He's more about what's happening here? What's happening in Munster? Like, he knows his place well, and maybe not so much the areas around it. You know, there's Munster there. This is his world. This is the world that he has helped flourish, helped maintain, and that is what he knows. And same with learning. He's not going to read a book. You know, he probably doesn't know how to write. Even though he's a king, petty king, he doesn't have like that highborn stuff such as quote unquote reading and writing sort of thing. That's just not his deal. But he does gain a little bit of piety as an effect, so that's nice. And we get a little bit of holy site as a county, which contains a faith. Oh right, yeah, holy site. There is a holy site that's in Thomond, somewhere here. So that's a city. Yeah, here it is. This is this little holy site. Got your nice little temple. But let's go back. And his prowess is average. So he's about leading the soldiers into battle, not necessarily doing the hand-to-hand combat himself. I mean, he's not terrible at it, but he's not great at it. So when I'm looking at this particular petty king, I see that he's a guy that has a low level of ambition, but some ambition. You know, he's looking to expand his territory some, not a lot. I think it's more important to him to make sure he holds on to what he has already, because as you can tell, he gets a little bit overwhelmed by some of the day-to-day dealings when it comes to managing things. So expanding is obviously a good thing, and he has a little bit of ambition for that, but not really. He's not gonna double the size of Munster or anything like that during his lifetime. He's more of the maintaining and passing it off to his son, so his son can go through what his ambitions are, and his ambitions aren't great because he's terrible. Look at him. So his son is probably going to be more oriented of like he wants to expand, even though he's not going to be great at it but he's not great at much of anything. Like fighting is the only thing that Brian knows, and is that going to get him killed? Is he going to be a short-lived ruler as a result? Well, what I know for sure is I need to get his son married as well as myself married. We need to make sure that there are grandkids on the way. Unless there are no grandkids, so it's a little bit tumultuous right now. I have the current generation and the next generation in the wings, but not much after that, because we want to make sure we don't want to have to pass it on to Lorcan, my half brother, or Conchabar, my other half brother. No, that's not my lineage. That's their lineage. I'm not interested in that. So if I click on the House of Brian, I can also, take a look at it. I thought I could take a look at it. Yeah, here it is, Dynasty Tree. So I can see what has happened so far. Although the panning on this thing is ridiculous. Back to Dynasty. We are insignificant, by the way. Not much honor, or not a lot of people being like, oh yeah, we really want to get in on that dynasty. You know, we got to build ourselves up. You see, there's prestige. 200 prestige is better than no prestige. It's nothing really to get excited about. And marrying into my dynasty is only 100 prestige, which means that's not going to be the selling point. We need to have a little bit more going on in order to get someone married into our dynasty that's significant. So, and you can see there's Brian below me. Got to make sure, again, get him married, get another heir, make sure we have another generation guaranteed. Otherwise, again, this is going to be a very short playthrough. So, okay, what else do we got here? Well, let me take a look and see who is in my council. No spouse. A spouse automatically has a spot on the council, as does the bishop. The bishop is not fond of me, so I might think about trying to get his favor a little bit. My chancellor is also a vassal, which means that he's managing one of the counties within my petty kingdom. So he's doing work for me, but he's not fond of me either. We have the steward is also a vassal and a knight. And then we have my aunt is a spy master, not fond of me, but I mean she's my aunt, so she's just got to kind of put up with me anyway. So I'm not gonna be losing my mind over her negativity. Excuse me. And then there's Lorcan, my half brother, and Marshall, who's also part of my council. So he's still and he likes me, so I don't feel like he is going to do anything like try to betray me to take over. It's my other half brother that might be concerned since he's not on the council. Maybe he's upset about that. I don't know. I could definitely take a look and see. No, they're both 9 plus 19. That seems fine. I think they're both pretty okay with what I'm doing. Just gets a little janky sometimes. The controls are not something I'm super used to, so it's taking a little trial and error to get things figured out. Okay, so now that we're paused is September 15th, 1066, which is, again, I mentioned the Battle of Hastings and William the Conqueror coming in and claiming Europe, not Europe, but England for himself as one big kingdom. And that's going to be October 12th, 1066. Maybe I didn't mention this earlier, but I felt like I did, but maybe not. But now I'm mentioning it, so okay. But that's a very significant event. We have about 4 weeks until that happens. I've seen, on my previous playthrough, once that date passed, the previous king was still listed. Haroldson, I believe, is his name. King Harold of England. And I realized that because William the Conqueror claims England on October 12th, but he's not crowned until Christmas Day, December 25th. So I'm interested to take a look and see if they have that shift happen on that date and see if the world around us is still operating as it would have, and it's just kind of waiting for my influence upon it. So very exciting stuff. I want you all to hang out, and come along with me on this great journey as we try to make Munster. Hopefully, what we can do is try to reclaim all of Ireland as a kingdom. That's kind of like my big, ambitious plan, but really, with this being just my second ever playthrough of this kind of game, I'm just hoping to get to 1453 intact. If I can do it and also claim all of Ireland, great. If not, that's fine as well. Okay. What else do we have going on with this petty king? So he has his title, Petty Kingdom of Munster. That's his primary. He is also the Earl of Thomond, and the earldom is within. It is right here. You can see there's Thomond, and then there's Ormond, and Ormond is even smaller. It's a barony, and since it's a barony, we do have a vassal taking care of that. Yeah. Earl Ragnvald, he's a guy he's not very keen on us. Did we take a look at him already? I feel like maybe we didn't look at my vassals just yet. We have 2 vassals. There we are. One of them is a mayor, and mayor and vassal, from my understanding, are kind of just the different titles for the same job. And they're both powerful. They both have some soldiers that they can provide. Or those are the ones that are provided. Let's see, my math is a little iffy. No, that's not. No, those numbers are different. That is 328, and this is 317 of my levies with 26 knights. Great. Okay, so they can be helpful if there is more of a direct attack on one of the settlements that we have here. Settlements, I think, also is another one that has a different name to it. Holdings, yes. Cool. And like I said, this first video is going to be a lot of talking just because I want to kind of get the lay of the land, lay of the dynasty, figure out exactly what these people are. So like I said, Petty King Murchad, looking to maybe expand a little bit. I've already kind of been eyeing this ossuary. Come on, I want to see Earldom of Austria. Let's take a look at this here. They have 325, so the military strength is similar. They have set 65 there. So I feel like if I raised an army, I could raise because I can raise an additional amount of soldiers pretty easily. So I should be able to conquer them if I wanted to. How about this one? How about the Althone? Althone also very similar. And then the mayor can provide some too. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening here. And how about Desmond? What's this one look like? Yeah, we got us. Yeah, it's similar. Again, this one seems a little bit more interesting because it's kind of in the edge here. I could get some more docks. I can have ships maybe going off. Kind of make this bottom half my own personal petty kingdom that's a little bit bigger than, and maybe don't call it petty kingdom anymore because I'm getting offended by that. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see which one of these kind of shows an appeal. I'll have to check and see if I make claims to any of those. And I could also, maybe one of these smaller ones, I can try to strike a friendship with and have them assist me. Like Osri probably wouldn't have any benefit of trying to get Desmond because they have us in between. Maybe I could get Osri or Althone to be a partner and help me out with that. So just a world of possibilities as far as how I can approach this. But yeah, he's Petty King Murchad looking to grow a little bit, but nothing substantial. So again, we are still paused, and now is the point in which I would like to try to address um, requests, tasks that don't need a passage of time just yet. So let's take a look here. For example, lifestyle. Adult rulers may choose a lifestyle which will in turn allow them to select a focus and start gaining perks. Each lifestyle has its own type of experience, which is used to purchase perks. For example, experience in the intrigue lifestyle is necessary to gain perks, such as dreadful or like weeds in a garden. Like weeds, what is that? Oh, sweet. And these are the lifestyles that we have. And usually there is going to be one, at least from what I've seen with these exactly 2 times I've played through this point, is that there's one that sticks out as I already have a handful of perks. In this case, that is Marshall. As you can see, there's a 8 out of 27. And Marshall, as you remember, I have as a 17. So that is one that would be an easy focus on, because I also gain more experience than on this lifestyle compared to others. So yeah, let's take a look at this and let's see which one we should focus on. Because not only do you have the lifestyle, but you have a certain lifestyle focus when you pick that lifestyle. There's so many layers to this game. I'm sure a lot of the stuff that I'm saying, as little as I'm understanding it, maybe you guys are not understanding it, or maybe you're someone that's really experienced and are just kind of beside yourself with like how dumb I sound. And that's fine. That's fine. Different strokes for different folks. I mean, there's plenty of people that have different levels of experience with these kind of games. I happen to be on the very, very low end, the very novice side of things. So I like to also explain things out loud so I understand them, not necessarily just for the people watching. So there. Okay. So these focuses here. As you can see, there's an amount of experience you get from a focus, and all of them are the same. They're 32 martial experience a month, so that's not really a factor in my determining which one I want. A strategy focus. Luck can win a duel. A fool can win a battle. It takes more to win a war. And that will give me an extra +3 on martial, which will make it very, very good. I'll pump it up to a 20, but nothing else. Authority focused rule is to make all the aspects of a realm move in unison and work together. So in this one, I only get a +1 martial. I get 20% gain in dread. And dread is, as you can see on the screen, is a measure of how feared a ruler is. Excuse me, I don't know if that picked up on the mic, but I just had a deep belch there. But I'm fine now. Thank you. Thanks for asking. And that seems like it could be something that would be helpful to a degree. I don't feel like I really want to be a tyrant, or at least this ruler of this dynasty doesn't really want to be a tyrant. But a little bit of dread gain could be helpful. And then there's also a plus 0.03 a month of control, and that would be helpful too. That's great. Chivalry focus. Victory comes not through blood or gold, but honor. Focusing on chivalry grants extra prowess. Oh, like the actual bump to the prowess. Nice. +10 in attraction. Attraction is a type of opinion that only affects characters whose sexual orientation matches your sexual orientation matches your. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, now it explains. Yeah. Okay. Stop time effect for women above 50 years, but for men above 65, because that's just that's the world we live in. We always think that men are just more virile and attractive much longer than women, for no other reason other than that's just how civilization has run. So, but I mean, it seems like this attraction opinion would be a good +2, and then we have a battle advantage. Makes one side do more damage. Oh, that's great. That seems great. I don't know why I'm still looking at this. I'm definitely doing this one, the chivalry focus. That's good. And then there's a note that after 5 years, you can change it into a different focus. Okay. So I have that picked. Great. I was gonna say, he's 39. He's not that old. He should easily be around 5 years from now, so we could change it. But between those three focuses, that chivalry one, that definitely seemed like the best one, without a doubt. Okay, so heir unmarried. Your player heir, behind Murchad, has no spouse. You have no heir. The game will end when you die. Click to find suitable spouse. Right click to dismiss. So this also could come back to talking about getting either Althone or Ossory on my side if I kind of marry into their earldoms. Seems like that could be a plus. So this is where we're going to get even more chatting, because there's so much information that you can sort through to figure out a spouse. Well, this is an arranged marriage. Wait, are we dealing? Wait. Spouse. Oh, we're looking at the heir first. Okay, yeah. That's fine. We can definitely look at Brian first, because he's the one that needs kids still, and so I can wait a little bit longer because I'm just looking for a little bit of happiness for the rest of my years, basically. Okay. So, this one, I mean, there's all the different factors of diplomacy, martial stewardship. So anyone that you try to marry is going to have all the different details, traits as you do. So those are things you can factor in as far as what kind of assistance or coupling you want with your heir to have. Like, do you want someone that's going to be more helpful because they are more diplomatic or more stewardship or that sort of thing? So with him, I feel like there's not a huge rush right now because he is only 18. And I am 39, and from what I can tell, I'm very healthy. So I don't think Brian's going to inherit the kingdom or the petty kingdom anytime soon. So he can get married to someone that is younger with the idea that he doesn't have to produce kids right away. So we're not going to get too worked up about them being same age or virility or that sort of thing. So a little note here, there's this matrilineal option. So matrilineal is, for example, if you are the ruler and you're marrying off your daughter, matrilineal is something you can select to say, okay, my daughter is marrying your son, but the lineage goes to my family on my side, not your side. So we're the ones that will inherit a position or an earldom or that sort of thing. And that's something you could try picking whenever you're doing an arranged marriage or like a marriage based on forming a relationship with another country, fiefdom, that sort of thing. But if you're dealing with the son, you don't have to worry about it because he automatically gets it. And from as far as I know, other like the opposing, like the computer run characters won't ever try to sneak that on you, as far as I know. Definitely something to watch though, but we'll see. Anyway, let us go through the filters here and figure out who would be ideal. So like I said, age, not a big deal. Adult, not a big deal. We do want to be fertile, obviously, and healthy. I don't know how many of these women that are listed are also saying, oh, by the way, they're very unhealthy. Like, that seems like it's very unlikely. But, gotta check it out. And also, we are insular Irish, insular Christianity. And so to me, it would be important to try to maintain that. Although, now that I'm thinking of it, if they were just straight up Christian, it would be fine. Because insular Christianity doesn't have a head of the faith. And if you are part of a religion that does have a head of the faith, then you will down the road have the option to try to lend money from the head of the faith if you need it. So if we marry into Christianity and if we convert to Christianity eventually, we could potentially have the Pope as an ally, which is interesting. But I think right now we're not going to get too worked up. We're not going to think too far down the road as far as those religious options are concerned. We could just convert later too, if that works out. So we'll just keep that as is. And what was a bad trait he had? Yeah, he's got no prowess. Okay. That's his. And these other ones are also, yeah, if they are currently a ruler. Do we have any other rulers? Nope. So we'll leave that as it is. Some of these detail, I mean, there's just so many options as far as trying to sort them out that you just kind of have to overlook them. It's sort of like if you do online dating, you don't go through every single option to select. Otherwise, then you'll just end up with no matches. So we're not very picky right now. Like I said, there's not a huge rush for my son to produce an heir because he's young and I'm young, and we're all doing fine. Thanks for asking. So we're going to pick someone that is just going to be, that's going to feel like a good match for him. So let's take a look here. Let's see what we have for prestige gain. Okay. Infanta Sanchez Ramirez of Aragon. Catholic. Cool. How about this 10-year-old? Check. It's disturbing, but it is. If it's an arranged marriage, it's not worrying about producing a kid right away. You could very easily arrange to marry someone that's currently 4 years old. But you know what? I'm going to try to avoid that when I can. let's take a look. Let's take a look at her. Courtier Fonte Garcia of Aragon. I was sort of hoping for one of those nearby countries, but who cares? All right. Let's take a look and see how this would match up. Yeah. Okay. They would both be terrible at prowess, but she's a good bargainer. Arbitrary personality, lustful. Look at her. She looks so disappointed that she's just being thrown out here to be married to whomever, especially since I look like a lumberjack. Or maybe she's into lumberjacks. Maybe she's going to be happily surprised when she sees Brian saunter on over. But I like her so far. Oh, look at this. Okay, great. Brian is going to gain us 500. 500. What's it? Prestige. Yeah, that's what. 500 prestige. That's terrific. My first playthrough was all about the spouse, because I was trying to marry off a son in my previous playthrough, and it was all about the spouse gaining so much prestige, and on my side just getting whatever I could maximize on. But this is terrific. Look, this is really going to be helpful. We have a medium chance at children. I'm willing to risk that. Alliances, and we'll create an alliance with Infante of Aragon. I don't know where this Aragon is, but yeah, let's send a proposal. That's terrific. And while we're at it, let's try to. Oh, no one's available. Okay, well, not a big deal. Not a big deal. Why don't we get back to our screen here. And now let's get time moving again so we can see how that proposal goes. Well, let's drop you. Oh no, wait, actually what am I do? I looked at the council, right? Was I gonna try to get yeah, I was gonna try to I want to try to sway him. I'll have him find me a spouse, but first I'm going to sway him. I want him to like me a bit more before I have him do something important like that. So let's start that scheme. And what are we going to do about you? We'll just try to sway you as well. Oh, never mind. I can't do both. Well, I should have realized that. What can I do about him? How can I make him happier? I can't send a gift. Okay, we'll leave him alone for now. Well, let's get this marriage finalized in a couple of days here. It shouldn't take too long. Alright, so we're pausing again. Greetings, petty king Murchad of Munster. I gladly accept your marriage proposal. Your son and heir, Brian, and my sister. Okay, now that makes a lot more sense. But that's terrific. We'll be joined in holy matrimony. May God grant them long life and many children. Signed, Infante Garcia Ramirez of Aragon. Excellent. Where are you? Where's your location? Okay. That's here. Okay, that's way down there. Well, that's fine. Doesn't have to be. I mean, we're not immediately going to get into a war or anything like that. And we have really no other alliances. It doesn't have to be one that's just about fighting a war tomorrow. You know. She doesn't seem very happy about this marriage, but you know, we can check in on her a little bit. Actually, let's see what this is. I have no spouse. Yeah, we're gonna hold off on that for now. Not endorsed by our bishop. Bishop does not endorse you. Let's start for affairs. Yeah, so I'm kind of working on that one already. Okay, I could get my half brothers married. I can declare wars. Desmond, wait, Desmond, was that the one down here? Yeah, we're gonna look into declaring war on Desmond. Like that's for sure. That's a thing. That's something we're gonna look at. Let's get rid of you. What are we doing here with our brothers? You want to get married? Well, okay, we'll wait. We'll wait until we have swayed the bishop a little bit more. I should pause this again. Oh, we'll wait until we have him swayed a little bit more, and then we will have him start looking for wives for myself, my two brothers. Okay. I want to take a look at the actual barony. There we go. Okay, so what can I do here? Fertility wetlands. No. See, I did this before where I kind of upgraded. And because you can go into debt. That's not, doesn't seem like a big issue. It's just a matter of getting out of debt. Like, you can be in debt in this game. You have to find your way out of debt. And previously I was having difficulty figuring out how to get out of debt. So we're going to kind of avoid that for now. Let me just let some time flow by here. Ooh, romance, a declaration of love. I am walking the gardens with some of the lords at court when I notice my courtier Timare approaching. I step aside to let her pass, but to my great surprise, she blocks my path and kneels before me. Before I have time to properly process this turn of events, Timare begins to sing. How delightful. I quickly recognize the tune. It is a famous Irish love ballad. I've heard it performed countless times, but never with such skill and passion. The intense emotions of the song are mirrored in Timare's gaze, which is set on me. She does not look away for a single heartbeat. You know what? I'm the petty king. I don't have a spouse. I have nothing going on as far as relationships are concerned. There's no harm in at least humoring her. So we'll humor her a little bit. I'm guessing that she is lowborn and probably not someone that's considered suitable for me. We'll see how that develops later. Actually, I want to take a look at my vassals. And because I know... Oh yeah, he's upset. Let's try... Oh, we already got sway. You can't modify the rule of marriage. Grant titles. My personally held title. No, I'm not going to give him one of my own titles. That's silly. So my son is married. Great. Hopefully he's producing the next generation of leaders for us. Ooh, what is this? Guards drafted for levy. Earldom of Thumgood gained unsafe highways for 5 years. Your marshal's average martial skill causes this problem. Okay, let's take a look here at our council. No spouse. Court, yeah, let's see. Do we have anyone in the court here who might be interested in doing his job? Well, this guest here is not great. Court here, we got some knights. Alright, so we got some martial skills here. Oh, so I think he's my strong. Yeah, he's like my strongest suited one. There's no one really above an 11, but 11 is not strong enough. These children. He's 1. He has 1 for learning. That's all he's doing. Nothing else. He's worthless. Donald's worthless. Poor Donald. Okay. And so we're going to get to the end of the year here, and that's going to be when I'm going to end this this video, because it's set up so it automatically saves at the beginning of the year. That seems just like a good... Oh, wait. Okay, so we just passed Christmas, like I was mentioning. Let's see who is king now. Still King Harold. Okay. So history does change. As soon as you... Just by starting this game, history changes. That's interesting. And we are at the first autosave. Wait. Okay, like I said, we are going to end the video here. So far, this has been going a lot better than my previous run. The fact that I'm still playing it. And I feel like we have a good idea of what we're trying to achieve here. Still really personally struggling figuring out how to get money, how to gain gold in order to do anything. But until then, we're just going to sort of stay the course. I think when I come back for the next video, I might just try to marry off one of the half-brothers and not wait for the bishop to be happier. I just want to kind of go through that process and see if that ends up helping out our overall cause. But I'll see you then. At this point, this video is going to end just like